piece of paper that has here some writings. It was a book. It has in we argue about money. My husband doesn't not love me. His ex desires are overly strong. My husband beats me terribly. I found him in bed with a girl. So anyway, let's see. Learn how to love your spouse the way he or she needs to be loved. Yeah. Then we also have here enjoy romance and sex in your marriage. Yeah, hello. So we have here learn to love your spouse the way he or she needs to be loved. And then we also have enjoy romance and sex in your marriage. So let's see what is in this book here. How your marriage can have warm love, close friendship, and better sex. What you can do in what you can do if your husband stroke wife is selfish, waste money and sex outside of marriage, and have sex outside marriage. So time so what do we have here? Hey Creed, how are you? Hope you're fine. So he loves my body but doesn't love me. So here they're saying that he loves my body. Ndikunonya bintu sinagamba ko nti ndi mu kusoma wano. Mwana wali causing trouble. But you're wed. Better enjoy. Part of his penis must be cut off. Ah, that means it is big. Should I use that? This book is for big people. I'm telling you guys.
Answers for your marriage.
He loves my body but doesn't. But does he love me? Do you know somebody can love your body but doesn't love you guys?
True.
Do you know that? And I think that is what we call lust, I think. Don't you think? Yes, it's a big four book. Because I'm saying here, like he loves my body, but does he love me? Sometimes you can ask yourself that question. He loves my body, but does he love me? Someone may just love your appearance when they see you, but when it comes to the heart, and someone can love the sex that you give them, but they don't love you. Not you as a person. Do you know that that can also happen? That is heartbreaking, by the way. It is heartbreaking. Very, very, very heartbreaking. Very terrible. Telling you. For someone to love you for someone to love what you do, but not you as a person. No, explain. Like, oh, like someone can love the sex you give them. You can have good sex. Do you know that? But when you don't love that person, I don't know. I don't know if you get me. Because you don't think it exists, Creed. It exists. No, everything exists in this world. Someone can love you. Someone can just love your body, but they don't love you as a person. But they love you, how you're carved, how everything is. But when at heart, they don't really love you at all. Yes. My husband asked me for my husband asks me for sex often, but I don't enjoy it much. Why? Because I feel he doesn't love me. That. Each afternoon when we arrive home from work, I want to talk with him. I want to tell him all about my day and I want to hear about his. But he asks me no question and shows no interest in what I have been doing or how I am feeling. Instead of talking to instead of talking with me, he talks to he talks to me, bring me till make me make that kind of be quiet. Then when we get to bed, he wants me to feel sexy. I give him what he wants, but my heart is not in it because I feel he doesn't care about me as a person. Do you get that? Things exist. Like, that is what I'm saying. Like, do you know that it is very bad for someone not to care about you? In which way? Like, you're going to have a partner who doesn't want to know how even your day was. It is very disappointing how you're doing you as a person. You may even find out that when you're sick, you're not fine, you're not feeling okay, but they're just okay. Like, what they want is for as long as you give them food, for as long as they are well fed, that is all that matters. But what concerns you, it doesn't matter. Then that person doesn't love you. That person only wants what you do for them, but they don't love you. Unless you take her to ask someone, "How are you? How are you feeling?" Because you may be talking to someone who is even sick. But that person is not ready to tell you, not until you ask them, like, "How are you feeling?" Because if you don't take the initiative to ask me how I am feeling, it is so heartening, so bad, so bad, so bad. You get me? Instead of talking with me, where have we ended? Let me see. When when we get into bed, he always finishes in only 2 minutes. Then he immediately falls asleep, and I feel like crying because I realize my husband thinks I am I am a body with no person inside. Often I ask myself, why does he talk with me? Why doesn't he talk with me? Why doesn't why doesn't he hide his thoughts? Why does he hide his thoughts from me? You know, this makes me like say this. Do you know that you can be with a person when they don't confide in you? You can never know how their work is doing, how they're doing as so like sometimes you have to have a partner who confides in you, who is ready to tell you how their day was, no matter how bad it was, you know. Like you feel like you sit together at the table and try to talk about each other's day. It is it is so good. You get me? So bad. So terrible. Because he continues to say, I realize my husband thinks I am a body with no person inside. Often I ask myself, why doesn't he talk with me? Why does he hide his thoughts from me? Why doesn't he never asks about mine? Does he love me? Please help. What do you think about that? If you have such a person, do you think that person loves that person? Do you think they really do love? If you hear what that person was saying, do you think that Because how can you, like, why do you be with a person you cannot talk with? A person you cannot be open with? Very terrible. Very terrible. So what would you say about that? Hmm? What would you say about that? Let me see here what they are talking about. Can Sarah and her husband ever have a great marriage? Yes. The first thing they need is communication stroke love. Communication means talking with each other freely. Love simply means unselfish care for the other. The second thing they need is advice on sex. This book explains with communication and love and sex. Yeah. Communication stroke love. Your marriage will become more romantic as you choose to communicate with each other and love one another unselfishly. Husband often says, "My wife isn't sexy." Wife says, "He doesn't know how to satisfy me." And when it comes to matters of sex, you have to read your partner's body. Your partner's body has to be like a book that you have to know that when I do this, my partner does this. When I do this, my partner does this. You get me? So it's very, very bad for someone to just come back home, not even try to ask you, "How are you? Welcome back. How's been your day?" Because those are the things you need to talk about when someone comes from work. "How has been your day at work?" "My day has been good. This and this happened. My work has really got me mad, but I managed to do this and this and this, and this is how I managed to go out of it." You get me? You get me? Communication. I say communication is a key to a good relationship. It's very bad if someone loves you when you're at your good, but they don't love you at your bad. You get me? So let's get to read another patterns and see. Communication. Some people say a real man doesn't need to communicate with his wife. But the fact is, a man will begin to enjoy life more when he realizes it is good for me to talk freely with my wife. As I communicate with her, we understand each other, our home grows more loving, and our bedtimes more exciting. Do you get me? You get me? Yes. When you get to start communicating, everything just becomes good, smooth, and exciting. Like you don't have anything to worry about. When you have a bad day, you come, sit on the table, and lay the cards on the table. When you feel like there is something missing in your during your bedtime enjoyment, you come talk about it. Maybe let's try out this. Let's do this. Let's see how this is. I want to see, instead of you going to another person and then that person will literally make you uh try out something that you can't try out with your husband or your partner or your fiancé. That means you're cheating. Hmm? So, and then what is saying, yes, every husband and wife need to communicate. There are three levels of communication. Perhaps right now the communication in a marriage is zero. Don't worry. You need your husband stroke wife to step up to level one. When you succeed in reaching, you will find the joy of a romantic friendship and exciting sex. Uh-huh. Each afternoon, when you and your husband stroke wife arrive home, tell each other what happened during the day. Tell about the terrible car accident you saw, or how your cousin passed his exams, or whatever happened. There is communication. Communicating is good. It's good. Yes, mama. Yeah, communication is so good. Like when you communicate with someone, maybe you passed by the road and then saw this, you can talk about it. Whenever you communicate with your partner, you get to know each other and you grow fond of each other. Believe it or not, but I know most people don't want to listen to such things. But I'm telling you guys, there are things that we need in our daily lives, because you're not planning to stay single for the rest of your life. Even if you will be alone, still you need to hear this. Because even people we are living with, even if you're not in love with them, like they need communication. Communication is good. It's always exciting if someone checks out on you than someone who just comes to ask something from you. They even don't know how you're doing and they're like, help me with this. That is kind of strange. So strange. So let me see. It is amazing that many couples fail to communicate even at the simple level. They stay in the same house, but they seldomly speak to each other. Don't be like that. Decide today that you will start communicating. Then every day greet one another with a hug and talk about what happened during the day. This will become a habit that you both enjoy. You got me? I think we try to pick like something from this. Sometimes when I talk about love, I feel like my heart is a bit low because I see that the kind of things that people do when they say they love people, it is just different from what is supposed to be done. It is so disappointing. Very, very disappointing. How one's here, but I don't know even where I got them from. Creed, are you still here with us? I know Creed always disappear when we start talking about this, but it's okay. Don't be like that. Decide today that we will start communicating. Then every day greet one another with a hug and talk about what happened during the day. This will become a habit that both of you will enjoy. To telling about your day, ask your partner what happened in your life today. Such questions are important. If a husband arrives at home and his wife asks no question, it means she doesn't care. You get me? Mhm. And if the husband never asks about her day, she thinks he doesn't love me. True. Because if you love me, then you have to ask you have to be curious to know how my day was. Even if I stay at home, even if I'm a stay-home wife, you need to ask me, how was your day at home? You know? As I was cooking, I had to cut myself. As I was cooking, the cooking oil splashed on me. I was cooking this meal, and then this happened. You get that conversation, that communication you create between the both of you. It makes life so interesting. You get me? You know, and now this city you're now, you mean was now. We all like to be asked questions, you know, which shows sincere interest. Whenever anyone asks me a question about my work or my ideas, I think isn't he friendly? In marriage too, we should use questions to show our interest in each other. Your marriage will begin to improve as you simply talk about your day and ask each other questions that but don't stop there, you know. Uh-huh. Then here they come to say of the second level of communication is talking about us, our money, our children, our relatives, our plans for the future. Do you know it feels so bad when your husband never tells you anything about the future, you know? It's like what is going on here, you know? At least someone has to tell you now this is what we'll be doing, even if you don't know what the future holds, like as if you plan together the future. Now we're going to do this, now there will be this. That is where people fail. Sit down as partners, talk about the future. You may not know what the future holds, but at least create that engagement. Amy De Villas, hello, how are you? Welcome to my channel. Hope you're fine. I don't understand any other language apart from English. I feel like I want to eat chicken, like roasted chicken. Roasted, yeah, or smoked chicken. Fine, thanks, and you. I'm fine. We're trying to read out things that are here and try to talk about them, you know. Um, for example, a husband should discuss with his wife questions such as what school can our children attend? Should we ask my cousin to stay with us? That shouldn't be very necessary. Some people are not that close. But should we buy a new car? One day, one day, and Lydia were discussing his mother as they talked. They began to disagree and quarrel. In that case, what should they do? They should continue to discuss it until they reach an agreement. But Abaran and Lydia didn't do that. Instead, they stopped talking before reaching agreement, and after that, they sh- they thought to avoid each other quarrel. We must never talk about his mother. Later, they had a money quarrel again. They stopped talking about they stopped talking before reaching agreement. So they had to begin avoiding that topic too. Then sometimes you may be talking to someone, like whenever you talk about a topic, you quarrel. So you're like, you know what? I think we should stop talking about this topic because whenever we talk about it, it brings out the weirdest conversation in us. You get me? So instead of allowing quarrels to kill communication, let's use communication to solve our quarrels. Yes, let's discuss each subject is in a kind way, and let's not stop the discussion until we agree on a decision. Hello. Hi. Hi. Talking about our feelings. That is another level of communication, talking about our feelings. In this level, we open the door of our hearts, allowing our marriage partner to see and know our real feelings. Let me see here. After that, his wife asked, "But how do you feel?" when we communicate, our joy and trouble and doubles are because of happiness of one becomes the happiness of the other, and our burdens are cut in half since we share the Lord. And I think men should stop being like acting this way. Men think, I will not even say, let me say some, but because I don't know everyone. But some men think that they're not supposed to break down and cry. They're not supposed to share their bad days. They feel like they have to carry the load, Are those your dogs barking? Yes, they are. So if you feel like never never stay silent if something doesn't sit well with you. If you feel like something doesn't sit well with you, talk about it. If you feel like you've over talked about something and someone doesn't change, aba yebuulirira. Confessing. Oh no, now the baby is crying. The baby is not crying, the baby is trying to talk, communicating with the mother. My wife must not think that I can't handle my problems. That is, that is a problem with some men. Like they feel like if they tell their problems to their wives or partners or fiancés or anything you call your partner, it's like you're down and you can't handle them. It's very bad. Come and share with me how your bad day was. No, come lay on my laps. Let me try to make you feel better. That is, you know, that is something so good. Guys, I don't know what people think love is. Barriers to communication. In Europe, Asia, Africa, America, and everywhere, there are so many couples who fail to communicate. Why? Because they allow barriers to stop their communication, barriers such as fear, too busy, and so on. Yes, yes. So here they're talking about like fears. It is a sad fact Hello, Sandy. I like your DP. It is giving good vibes. So we have someone here saying, let me see. Fear. It is sad fact that some husbands make their wives fear them. Oh, your profile picture. You know, here we call it DP. How is everything, Sandy? How is everything going on, my dear? A wife cannot communicate well with her husband if she fears him. Fear destroys communication. And they say God says a wife must submit to her husband but not fear him. My wife and I are busy with our jobs. That is too busy. If someone says I'm too busy, what? My wife and I are busy with our jobs and with church. We have very little time together. So how can we communicate? Reply, take time to communicate no matter what. Don't allow yourself to be too overly busy. Eliminate some of your activities and find ways to serve together. And I notice that we communicate extra well as we had work together, such as witness home to home. Yeah, sometimes people say that they are so busy, but you can never be busy to the person that you love. At least you try to create time for them, you know? At least you try to create time for them. Hello. Hello, my beautiful people. How are you? How are you doing? There's so many things that people actually, and when someone changes in a relationship, you will see them. You will feel it. Try as much as you can to study and see the red flags and not cover them because you love someone. I'm telling you. Someone says they love you, they spend like years without talking to you, and they come next year and they say, "Hi, I love you and I miss you." Eh, Jesus. What is that you're missing that you haven't been looking out for? Oh my God, that is so disappointing to me. And I feel like if someone does that to me, they don't love me. Trust me. You cannot tell me you can go so many days without looking out for me and without a strong reason why you do that, and you say you love me. Another barrier to communication is failure to listen. Communication cannot occur unless we listen carefully. Sometimes, when speaking, I think of something I want to say. As he is talking, I am waiting for a chance to tell her my great idea. But while I am waiting, I am not listening. Or sometimes when she is talking, I see that she is mistaken about some small point. While she is still speaking, I am planning the words I will use to correct her. But while I am planning, I am not listening. So that's certain things that we try so much to cover up for people, but still the fact is fact that they don't care. Our love is lost. In our first year of marriage, my wife and I loved each other passionately, but now our lovely feelings have disappeared. Our marriage has turned ice cold. We don't talk much. It is hard for us to say, I love you, and our sex is going downhill. Neither of us has fallen in love with anyone else, but we have stopped feeling love for each other. I don't want to spend my entire life in a loveless marriage. Must we stay married when love is gone? Isn't divorce better than a marriage without love? Wouldn't it be better for each of us to marry someone else? Someone could truly love, someone we could truly love. Please tell me to stay in my present marriage. This marriage can never be happy. Our love is lost. But you can still go in another marriage. But if you don't know how to carry some matters, if you don't know how to handle some matters, you also fail in another marriage and in another relationship. You know, I think so. I think so. Ah, my goodness, my God, my Jesus, my Christ. What is love? Love is choosing to do kind, unselfish deeds for the other. Love is giving and forgiving. Love is helping, smiling and thanking. Love is not just a feeling, love is what we do. But doesn't everyone understand that? No, many people mistakenly think love is something that can get lost. The truth is, love can get lost. A key to get lost. Today I lost a key and I could not find it no matter how I tried. But I cannot lose love. I can always love if I want to. Why? Because love is action and I can choose my actions. If I choose to be kind and helpful, I am choosing to love. Of course, if I want to, I can choose not to love. I can choose to be unkind. But if I choose to be unkind, I cannot say that my love is lost. Do you know that this is literally true? Love is an love is an action. You choose what you want to do in your relationship, I'm telling you. You choose whether to be kind, whether to give, whether to be a mean person, whether to pay attention to details, whether not to pay attention to details. Love is an action. Period. Because we choose what to do. You love someone, but you choose, you know what? Let me surprise this person with this. Let me try to show this person that this is my love language. That is the action. Love is an action. Period. 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 So we go ahead and see what we have here. Because love is action, I can choose my actions. If I choose to be kind and helpful, I am choosing love. Of course, if I want to, I can choose to love. I can choose not to love. I can choose to be unkind. But if I choose to be unkind, I cannot say that love is lost. If I do not love my wife, it is my fault. My duty is to love her. Yes, I am responsible to love her with kind actions. The feeling of love, note this carefully. The feeling of love is not the same as love. What is the feeling of love? It's the exciting feeling of She loves me and I love her. Millions of songs have been written about this marvelous feeling. Yet, few people understand that even in a good marriage, the feeling of love rises, falls, rises, falls. And there he comes to say, today my husband may have a strong feeling of love for his wife, but tomorrow that feeling may fall. The next day it may rise, but soon after that it may fall and later rise again. Why? Because the feeling of love is just a feeling, and our feelings always change. When humans have many different feelings, sometimes we feel angry, sometimes lonely, and we feel sometimes we feel in love. We don't have to we don't have the same feelings every day. Have you ever felt happy every day for a month? No. Hello. Don't be a slave to your feelings. And then a new secretary started. Hello. It was. Improve marriage, more appreciations, superhuman, Hello. And again, I think my battery.